Right, ladies and gents, the Oscars are racist, are they? Academy Awards barely escape a reprise of hashtag Oscars so white. White. Nonsense. This happens every year. It's nonsense. It really is. Look, at the end of the day, why is this even a thing? I don't understand. If we're looking at the list of movies that have come out, they have legitimately been the best. People are crying about Lupita Nyong'o not being nominated for Best Actress for Us, Best Lead Actress for Us. She's not very good in that. She's a great actress. She's awesome. Not very good in Us. Why are we crying about it? Like, what? So I saw this and all of the other wave and all the nonsense articles that come out here, and I thought we'd take a look at it, right? Until Issa Rae and John Cho announced Harriet star Cynthia Erivo as a nominee for Best Actress for the 92nd Academy Awards, it was looking increasingly likely that the Oscars were heading for a repeat of Oscars So White controversy that drove the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences 4 years ago to aggressively begin diversifying its membership. But apparently it's still not good enough. Instead, Erivo saved the Academy from the embarrassment of yet another slate of all-white acting nominees. But just barely. This year's Oscar nominations for acting still managed to shut out a wealth of highly regarded performances by actors of colour who did earn nominations for several other lead-up awards. So, do they have to win in every single place in every single award ceremony? No. This is just... It must be racism. It must be. Of course it is. Those include Awkwafina in The Farewell. She's pretty good. I don't dislike her at all. Best Actress winner at the Golden Globes and nominee at the Critics' Choice Awards. Jennifer Lopez in Hustlers. Best Supporting Actress nominee at the Golden Globes, Critics' Choice Awards, SAG Awards, and Independent Spirit Awards. I like how they're just comparing it to everything else. Dolomite Is My Name. Best Actor nominee at the Golden Globes and Critics' Choice Awards. Shao Shu Sen in The Farewell. Best Supporting Actress nominee. It's all well and good. Again, Lupita Nyong'o in Us. She wasn't that good. Best Actress nominee at the SAG Awards. All of these ones, right? Now, some awards pundits had also pegged Song Kang-ho in Parasite as a potential surprise Oscar nominee for Best Supporting Actor. Parasite should have got a little bit more, I think. I will agree with that there. But this is hilarious. When they say Oscars so white, right? They only seem to be talking about black people. Don't talk about, like, Latin people. Don't talk about Korean people. Asian people. Like, it's not, is it? It's always got to be... It's literally... These people see black and white. It's baffling. The Academy membership also followed in the footsteps of the BAFTA Film Awards, which nominated an all-white slate of acting nominees for this year's ceremony. A move Mark Samuelson, the chair of BAFTA's film committee, called infuriating. Samuelson subsequently announced a careful and detailed review of the BAFTA Film Awards voting process. Basically, we're going to push it. We're going to push diversity for the sake of it. We see that there's an issue, i.e. people aren't getting nominated, so we're going to make sure they get nominated. Doesn't that water it down when technically they potentially didn't deserve to be nominated in those people's eyes, right? You can claim it as racist all you like, but at the end of the day, like, people do have the right to say, no, we don't think that they deserve it. It's got nothing to do with colour. The reason I didn't perform is because I don't think it's a proper representation as a woman of colour. So this is to do with Erivo declining an invitation to sing at the ceremony. So she thinks it's not a good representation as a woman of colour, of people of colour in this industry. Okay, sure. And I know people will watch this and go, oh, it's a white man talking about from privilege and blah, blah, blah. Shut up. It's amazing how you all seem to think that just because I'm white, I don't come from a minority background. Or, a group of potential, selective, which is not diversity and not represented fully. It's amazing, isn't it? You just see the colour, but you don't see the potential background involved. Yeah, there's a clue there to my background. But I definitely think it's time for change. We can't overlook it anymore. So the Academy underwent similar soul-searching and transformation after back-to-back years of all-white acting nominees for the 2015 and 2016 award ceremonies. Shortly after the 2016 nominations, then Academy President Cheryl Boone Isaacs announced sweeping changes to membership and voting rules and a concerted effort to increase the number of women and people of colour among the Academy membership. Now, Academy membership is a different thing to the nominations, right? Now, if you were to push more women and people of colour in the membership, so those that are able to vote, then yes, you would probably end up with more women being nominated and more people of colour. But it would seem, right, here you go, and this is the real crux of it, right? Those efforts doubled the percentage of people of colour within the Academy in just 4 years, from 8% in 2015 to 6% in 2016, sorry. So even with 16% people of colour, are they all universally voting for black people of colour? Is that what they're doing? Because that seems a little bit biased, doesn't it? Or is that that's essentially what they were trying to do here? Now, I admit that the membership should be more diverse. There's no reason why people of colour shouldn't be members of the Academy, those that are able to vote. But just because they're people of colour doesn't mean they're automatically going to vote for people of colour. And that's where these kind of articles fall short and fail. Given Monday's nomination announcement, it's clear that the Academy recent efforts to make its voting base more inclusive aren't enough for the organisation to recognise a diverse array of filmmaking talent. Now that is assuming that all those people of colour, that 16%, were voting just for black people. I would say that that is racist, wouldn't you? That's a sweeping statement to make, isn't it? That's to assume that black people only vote for black people or people of colour, whatever you want to call yourself these days. It doesn't matter. Whatever's PC in this hot time. That is a very sweeping assumption, right? But it does continue. So we got Oscar snubs, Jennifer Lopez, Robert De Niro, Awkwafina, women directors. Christian Bale should have probably got something for Ford versus Ferrari, I will say that. A lot of people are really annoyed that Little Women didn't get nominations. And I did my thoughts on the whole 2020 nomination list. And I said, I don't think the 6th remake of the same fucking story should get any nominations, quite frankly. I don't think it deserves it. It's not remotely original. But then again, we get the whole media coming in for a storm. Trevor Noah unloads on Oscars for all male directing nominees. How the hell does that happen? You look like a tit. First, the Twitterverse. Now Trevor Noah thinks the Academy has some explaining to do after this morning's Oscar nominations. The comedian expressed his frustration on Monday night's The Daily Show over the fact that no woman was nominated in the directing category. But again, Little Women does not deserve it. It's a remake. It's the 6th remake of the same story. Now, Noah began by recapping the nominations with a clip of John Cho and Issa Rae making the announcements. Rae revealed the best director contenders and commented, "Congratulations to those men," which is obviously shade, that's fine. Like many social media users, Noah thought Rae was throwing shade with a remark after she announced the nominees. The Irishman, Martin Scorsese's Joker, Todd Phillips' Joker, 1917 Sam Mendes, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino, and Parasite, Bong Joon-ho. But when you read those, they make sense, don't they? Like they make sense as the best director. Surely those movies are fantastic. I mean, that just makes sense, right? Are there others which could have been there? Yes, but it's all just down to a matter of opinion. There's nothing here which shouldn't be there, is there? No. Wow, Issa Rae. Damn, Noah said. You know you're in trouble when someone can throw shade by congratulating you. If Rae was sending a message with a comment, Noah said he understands why. Those aren't just all male directors, those are all very male movies, he said. This is where it really irritates me. If you take out Parasite, Women probably have 10 minutes of dialogue in all of the other films combined. There's no reason women shouldn't have bigger roles in these movies except for 1917 because women weren't invented until the 30s. Yeah, but not every movie has to have women in it either. I know, shock horror, right? Shock horror that not every story has to have black people, Asian people, Indian people. Not every movie has to have a woman in it, a person of colour, a gay person, a transgender person. I know the world, you think it revolves around you, but it doesn't. I know it's shocking. Irritating, childlike mentality. The Comedy Central star then demanded an answer as to why Little Women director Greta Gerwig was snubbed. Because she's remade a film that's been made 6 times. Maybe that's why. Where's Little Women, he asked to applause. Oh yeah, we woke bloody applause. Personally, I love the movie. Also, the Oscar voters loved the movie, which is weird. Well, they clearly didn't love it that much, did they? It's really strange because it was nominated for 6 awards, but then somehow Greta Gerwig wasn't nominated for director. Well, again, maybe the direction wasn't that good. It's nominated for 6 awards, but you're irritated that it wasn't nominated for Best Director. Cry me a river. How the hell does that happen? Was it just 2 people who were like, what an amazing movie? Yeah, did you know the movie directed itself? Wow, that's incredible. It's such a childlike, pathetic mentality. Now, Noah then shifted his anger to the lack of actors of colour getting nods. He congratulated Harriet star Cynthia Erivo, the only black actor to receive a nomination, but he then took aim at the Academy and repeated a frequent complaint among African Americans that black actors rarely get nominated unless they play a servant or a slave. Such a pathetic argument. I'm glad that at least one black woman was nominated for Best Actress, although it is kind of predictable that it was for playing a slave. I'm not saying she didn't deserve it, but just imagine if every white actor that was nominated got it for playing a supervisor at Whole Foods, huh? White people, you're more than just that. No one is saying that black people are just slaves, idiot. That's not even remotely the case. And how do you explain Parasite getting such great nominations then, huh? How do you account for that? How do you account for all the other award ceremonies nominating more people, huh? How do you account for that? God damn, this... You live in perpetual self-imposed oppression. It is pathetic. It really is. I'm amazed. I am absolutely amazed you can get out of bed with all this oppression you're dealing with, Noah. What a shame, Trevor Noah. Seriously, mate. And my heart bleeds for all the oppression you must be feeling. The star of Comedy Central, what was it, Daily Show. You must be so oppressed. So oppressed.